motherfucking look cake.
Hey, bitch, that understand I got no plan, but put you in the lane. All right, that's enough of Tory Lanez, but in today's video, we're gonna be creating this cinematic hook for your Instagram Reels and any type of your short form content. This new style has been going off lately on Instagram, so it's definitely something you wanna look into, and just to really spice up your personal brand and make you stand out and have that aesthetic look. But before we get into this hook really quick, my name is Eddie Thorson, and I run a shop called Sparvo, where I create digital assets for content creators just like you looking to upgrade their workflow from 5 hours of editing to just 15 to 30 minutes of editing. If you're not editing in 15 to 30 minutes, you are seriously crushing your career. But the first thing we wanna do, of course, is grab the cinematic editing style presets. If you don't have them already, go grab them down in the link description. It's not just these presets, you also get a ton of film borders, fonts to complement all of this type of style, and plus these hooks that I'm gonna be showing you just in a little bit. But first we have to do these color corrections, and I'm gonna show you how to do all of this stuff. So go down in the link description, use the code cinematic to save $5 off your order and any other pack that you grab. But for this video, we're gonna start with this cinematic editing style presets. And what you first wanna do is come over to the presets, and you can obviously see that they're numbered. And you're probably thinking, what does this numbering even mean? And that's exactly what I'm about to tell you. The numbering means, the number 1 means that's the first thing you should do. Then the second means that's the second thing you should do. And then the third is the last steps that you need to do to finalize your editing. So for this, obviously you want to color grade your footage. So all you want to do is come down to the cinematic color grade or the black and white if you want, or the warm LUT and the vignettes. Also the grain gives you a really cool filmic aesthetic looking to your video. But for this, I'm gonna use the cinematic color grade because it just looks absolutely amazing every single time I use it. So I'm just gonna drag it, drop it, boom. It already gives us a really solid foundation of our color grade. Obviously, I'm going to tweak it just a little bit because not every LUT is perfect for every single clip that you shoot. So we're just gonna come into here, just tweak it just slightly. I'm gonna take this tint to 0 because I don't want it to be any more green, and just decrease the exposure. I could probably up the contrast a little bit too, and maybe the shadows just a little bit too, just so then it's not popping so much. And I can bring these whites up just a little bit so I pop up and this pops up more, decreasing this green. And I think that looks good. We can just play through it. I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't have to. Now let's go on to the seconds, which should be our cinematic hooks. Obviously, we're gonna use the textiles that you get in this hook, like those hooks I was just telling you about. So just come over to it. You're gonna get a project file. You just go into here, and these are the hooks you're gonna be doing. I'm going to be adding more in the future, but for now there's only 5, but I'm thinking about making at least 10 of them for you guys. So if you like that idea, definitely let me know in the comments below. I would happily oblige to know any feedback that you want. But for this, let's just look through these and think about what one we would like. So here's the first one. It kind of gives it that really cool flicker effect. Then the second one is this really cool animation with this type of different negative look. That's pretty cool too. This one is really cool too. That one actually would be sick to use. Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna be using, is this fourth one. So what we essentially do is we just drag it, come over to the cinematic hook, drop it, and you can see it's a little longer. That's fine. You can just cut this, and just like that, boom. And now when we kind of go in here, you can see that's super small, and that's because these textiles are made for 1080 by 1920. Sorry, my mistake. And my footage is 4K, so obviously 4K footage is twice the size of that, so it's going to be smaller than it. So all you have to do is just come over to the nested layer, come over to the emotion, and scale it to 200. Now we have the exact same effect that we're looking for. I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't have to. So now all we have to do is come into the hook. So just double click it, and then you can see when you come in here, there's also another nested. And first of all we wanna do is listen to what I'm saying and then replace the words, and basically you're done. With that type, then we'll go on to the zoom that I like to use. I have all of my words already done in except the 5, and what all you have to do essentially is come into the effects text, so this green one, double click it, it's gonna bring you into here, and you can see when you zoom out, there is a bunch of these little ones. So as you come in here, because this effect is the most customizable one, and it's also the most unique, it's going to take the most time, but that is totally fine. It's not gonna take an absurd amount of time, like maybe 2 minutes maximum. And all you have to do is just come into each one of these. So obviously it says effect, so you just double click it, come over to here and then replace the word for which one you want. So for me, it's going to be 5. And then I'm gonna go do that for all the rest of these. Once you've did it all, you get this.
I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't.
And obviously this is a little too high, so what I'm gonna do is just drag it down here, and you can totally customize this. So if you don't want this kind of different look like it has, so you can like see through this, all you have to do is come into the effects on the nested layer, so this force textile, come over to the opacity. You can see I already have the negative look film on here. You can just click that off and boom, you get this. So now when I play it, it looks like this.
I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't have to.
That's absolutely sick. To add the final touches to this, to get that zoom that we are looking for, we want to add an adjustment layer. So just come down to your project panel, click on this new item. We're gonna grab this adjustment layer right here, hit okay, whatever you're using, and drag it over here. And what I wanna do is just kind of make it, I would say 3 seconds is about perfect for this, but you're going to be kind of just moving it just slightly, but not really. So then come over to the effects, click on it, and you're going to see the 3. So that essentially, of course, we already did all the animations, so we don't really need to do the 2, but if you're doing a more customized job and doing a full reel, then obviously you're gonna use the 2s, but for this video, because we're just making a hook, we don't need to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to my cinematic zooms, and what I always like to do for my hooks is I use a zoom that is really close and then it comes out fast. So this cinematic zoom out 150 to 100 is perfect for what we were looking for. So just grab it, plop it on, and this is exactly what it looks like when we do it.
I created these 5 cinematic.
So for me, that is really not fast enough, and that's a-okay. It just depends on how long your adjustment layer is. I'm actually gonna bring this out, and then I'm going to bring it to the left, and this is now what it looks like.
I created these 5.
I like that a lot, actually. I'm gonna bring it maybe to the left just a little bit more.
I created these 5
I really like that, and now I want to kind of a little bit of a zoom in. So what I always like to do is either double stack this. So I like to duplicate this layer, grab this one, delete this, and then come over to the smooth zoom in, grab that, and then I usually grab these keyframes and move it to the right, just like so. So now it kind of zooms out and then it zooms in.
I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't.
Like so. Or you can also do a more customized job, and this one looks absolutely amazing too, is come over to the original adjustment layer with the zoom, that's 150 to 100, and then go to the last one, hit a keyframe, and then make this like either 120 or 100, whatever looks good. That's a little too zoomed in, so I'm gonna do 100, 110. And now when we look through it, it looks like this.
I created these 5 cinematic hooks so you don't have to.
Go grab these cinematic hooks, presets, film borders, fonts, and a ton of more stuff. Use the code cinematic to save $5 off. And if you wanna learn more about how to edit just like these in a full tutorial length video, go click this video right over here.